Hello everyone. So this is a new tool I made for Godot. It's an editor plugin that allows you to edit JSON directly on Godot and also customize it from annotations in C#. So let me show you how it works. You can see here I have some. This is a JSON file that is loading, where I can add nodes to it. I can add subnodes and remove them again. And if I switch the scene, you will see it automatically switches to the script for this scene. I also have this one, which is actually the definition for this one. So you see here, move train and set mode. These are nodes in here. I can add a new one, just call it new command, save it. And if I go back, it will be appearing in this list. All this is done dynamically. So as you can see here, this is the settings for the plugin itself. It has a reference to the binary that Godot builds. That way I can load the class names, types, and enums and stuff directly from the binary. It also has this configuration where you can see which JSON classes. You can see I set this level script file JSON to be in tab with the same name as the scene. So that's this left one here. You see it changes with the scene. Where it should be saved, what mode it is in, local or global. So local means that it's local to the scene, so it will switch files with every scene, and then a file name. In this case, I'm just naming it after the scene. And then you have the settings here, which is global version. So here are the definitions for these. So I'm going to set up a new one now. So I'm just going to copy the base definition here, or I can copy this one. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to set up a new definition class at the bottom here. So let's just make some space. Put in this class. Let's call it test.json. For now, I'm just going to put name in there. And all I have to do is tag it as a JSON C# class. I save this. And that's it. I go back to Godot. Right now, it's not there. So I build my program. And you will see my test.json that I just added is now in this list. So I can go now and click here. I will select the test.json, call it test.json, tab name. We could do, for instance, percentage scene, test.json, save path. I could take this one, for instance, save name. Right. So I save this, and here it is. And of course, right now it only contains a single variable. When I change the scene, you'll see it updates depending on which scene. It automatically saves. So let's go add something else. What I have added is that I can, for instance, add an enum. So if I wanted this name here to be taken from an enum, I can do name enum like this. There. Then I just go here, tag this JSON enum list. So type of name enum, and should it be sorted? I don't know if it's default sorted. Save it. Once again, not here yet. Run my program. Stop it. Go back to test.json. It's now an enum list. The existing value is still there, but it now pulls the values from the enum. So all I need to do is update my code, build the program, and it will automatically be reflected here. There are also other things supported. If you, for instance, look at a bit up here, I have a JSON static method list, which can call a static method. In this case, it's calling this one. You get a 3 item in, which is actually, if you look here, it is this item here. This inherits from a 3 item, and this is the item you will get. So you get the item itself into the static. So if you want to implement this, for instance, I have this enum here. So let's add a second one, public string second value. It could be empty. I tag it as a JSON property. Okay, and now I want a static method, so let's add a static here. Static, it has to return very specifically, so let's just go in here. We can actually just copy this one. It has a very specific definition you need to use, so like this. So, what did I do wrong here? Oh, I am, of course. So I need to put it in some class. So let's just put it inside the class itself. Doesn't really matter where I put it, it just has to be a static method somewhere. All right, so what can we do here now? We can take, I can first set up the definition. So JSON list static method type, type of test JSON since it's in this class, name of, and then we do the method name, which is should be something else like get second value, for instance. So name of get second value. Should it use colors? Sure, let's use colors so you can see that, and sorted this through. These are actually true by default. So there we set up the definition. Now we need to make the method. So what this method should return is a list, a dictionary with a key and a color. The color isn't used unless set color use colors is on, but if use colors is on, this color will be used inside this plugin. So if you see here, for instance, these ones have colors, or if you go into this one, you can see here I have all the colors in the Godot color static class. So every color in here, and so I can show you now how to set it up. So we get this item in, so we can do if item dot. Of course, we need to cast it, so we can do like this is a test JSON. So we need to cast it because we get it, of course, as a generic item. Now we can do test JSON name equals name enum some name to string. So if it's some name, we will take return list and we will add value 1, for instance, colors, I don't know, blue. Sure, then value 2, color red, for instance. And if it's not the test enum, or if it's not some name, but any other value in the enum, then I want to have value 3 and value 4, right? And it could be Anita and something. Pink. Let's go with pink. Lovely. Now I just have to return this. I save it, build it, and we can go to this test JSON. What's the second value? It's value 1 or value 2. We change this one. Oh, it's value 3 or value 4. So in this way, you can build up rather simply link your JSON files to your programming code, and then edit them directly in the Godot editor. And then you can just read them however you want. Now the limitations of this add-on currently is that it uses the Newtonsoft JSON reader. You can of course change this. I will be putting this add-on to the asset library in the next few days. I just need to test it some more to make sure it's properly stable. I also need to add some features. Like right now, I cannot reorder these nodes, so they're always in the. I would have to, if I want to move this one to the top, I would have to remove everything above it, or of course go in and manually edit the JSON file by hand, which is also possible. But yeah, there's some features missing. But other than that, it's also very easy to add your own annotations. So let's just look at that before I end this. You can see I have this we use just the static method list and JSON enum list. So let's look at enum list. It's very simple. It inherits from JSON list. So if you want to make a custom list thing that, I don't know, reads a file or something else to build your list, you can do so. You just need to implement these methods, these two methods. If it should use colors and get the color list. And if you look at this enum thing here, we can simply see these are the type of the enum and should it be sorted. And when we load it, we do this util get assembly, which is in my util class. You can use the same to get the assembly based on the configuration. If we haven't, we try to get a type from the assembly. If we have it, or if we don't have it, then we use the type that was specified originally, which would then be in your add-on binary. So it would not be updated unless you loaded and reloaded the add-on. So if I changed the assembly name or my assembly name was wrong, I would only get updates when I reload the add-on. But if I have the correct assembly name, I will get the update whenever I build again. And then here, when I get the color list, I simply check first if the assembly has been rewritten, because there's no need to go and load from the assembly if it hasn't been rewritten. And if it has been rewritten, as in that it's newer than the last time we checked it, I do this load the type from the assembly, and then I simply build a list based on that. Or if there are no values, I will simply say that this was empty. And the same for the static. Here's the static one. It's very similar. You resolve the method info, and then if it's not null, I just invoke the method, the static method, take the dictionary, optionally sort it, and return it. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I will be releasing a second video later. Once I've completed this thing, I'll make some tutorials on how to use it, and then I'll put it up in the asset library.